Good evening, everyone, and welcome to BioVanguard Cell Talk presentation. For today's session, Madhuri is our presenter, and she will be discussing on the topic association between dietary vitamin B1 intake and cognitive function among older adults, a cross-sectional study. So, before the presentation, I would like to introduce Madhuri. Madhuri holds a bachelor's degree in microbiology from Ramlal Anand College, University of Delhi, and she is in her final semester of master's program in nutrition biology at the Central University of Haryana. Her academic journey has honed her expertise in microbiological techniques, food quality analysis, and the core principles of nutrition science. Through this fellowship, she is looking forward to acquire advanced scientific and research qualities which will help expanding her knowledge base and empowering her to contribute to high impact scholarly publications as well as aiding in thesis writing. Now, I warmly welcome Madhuri to start with her presentation.
Thank you for the introduction. Is my voice audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So basically, my topic is association between dietary vitamin B1 intake and cognitive function among the older adults. So, as we all know, that cognitive functioning is a direct impact on the modern global population. Like it is increasing in a high level because of various reasons. It can be because of high use of technology, to the ranging of very less sedentary lifestyle, lack of physical activity. So these are some of the reason of lot of causes like Alzheimer's, dementia. These are uh, the like problems which are facing, and mostly it has been observed in the older adults. So there are some of the preventable factors which are to be considered, and they are important to recognize. These factors can be, as I said before, physical activity. So we know that older adults are lacking physical activity, so that is one of the factors which can be recognized. And another very important factor is diet. So the food they are intaking. So as we know that diet is very much reduced in case of older adults because of many reasons, like they are lacking tooth, so they cannot chew properly, swallowing, there is lack of appetite, plus because of reduced physical activity their energy is not being utilized properly, so they tend to eat very less. So many of the time it has been observed that vitamin micronutrients intake is very much reduced, and most importantly vitamin B, D, and E, they tend to have a protective effect on the cognitive performance. Now this paper is basically working on how vitamin B1 is affecting the cognitive function. There are many neurodegenerative disorders. So this is a flowchart of how basically this paper is working. Because of aging, vitamin B1 intake is reduced. So because of that reason, the cognitive development is being affected, the energy metabolism as well as the neural functioning is being affected. Because we know already that as vitamin B1 has a very much direct impact on the brain health. So this particular paper is checking how much the effect is based on the cross-sectional study. So this is the flowchart of how the paper is been working on. So they have took NHA-NES data from 2011 to 2014. So the total amount of total participant was more than 1,000, like 1,900, 19,931. And now they have reduced the amount based on their many of the their inclusion properties, which included that they need to be more than 60, they have to be more than 60 plus of the age, and they should be consuming vitamin B1. So they are being categorized on the basis of how much vitamin B1 intake they have taken on their daily diet. So plus their cognitive function data is being taken. So on the basis of that, people are being reduced, and the last amount of data participant they have taken was 2,422. So still it is a very large amount of data. So how the paper has progressed is, how the study has progressed is, they have taken data from National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey from the year 2011 to 2014. And according to, as I said before, the participants are being taken. Now their vitamin B1 consumption is being recognized by the dietary recall method. 24-hour dietary recall method, which is a very common method of how to understand the diet, on the basis of diet, if there are any studies being done. So 24-hour dietary recall method is done. There are many co-varieties they have considered, which is gender, age, body mass index, race, education, on the basis of that, plus their history of any disease like diabetes or any cardiovascular disease, because directly or indirectly they are being affected. Plus the participation were grouped on the basis of how much vitamin B1 they are taking. And then there were cognitive function tests they took, as it is mentioned under data collection part, which is digit symbol substitution test for processing speed, animal fluency test for executive function, and consortium to establish a registry for Alzheimer disease, basically CERAT subtest for memory. Basically the different, if we are considering cognitive function, so there are many different aspects which are to be considered: memory, how much they can recognize, the counting, everything are need to be considered. So on the basis of that, the data collection is being done. Statistical analysis are being done. On the basis of that, Z score was taken, and higher scores means better cognitive performance. So multivariate linear regression, there are different model, crude model. These models were made, specified by these data. Now the results is being taken. They have been 4 groups were basically made: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So Q1 was that the amount of diet they had, B1 diet, was less than 0.97 mg per day. So basically the recommended dietary allowance given by ICMR is around 1.1 for male and 1.2 for female. Or maybe I think I'm getting wrong, 1.2 for male and 1.1 for female. So around that range is the best for any person. So Q2, again, the range was 0.98 mg per day to 1.33 mg per day. Q3 is 1.34 mg per day to 1.82 mg per day, and Q4 is very much, which is higher than 1.82 mg per day. Now the individual demonstrated higher scores on the different the cognitive performance test on the with respect averages. These are being taken in the highest vitamin B1 intake. Means high vitamin B1 intake shows directly indicate that yes, the cognitive functions are being affected and they showed a better results. So how the relationship was shown between vitamin B1 intake and cognitive function was that it was positively associated, of course, and the participants which belong to Q4 group exhibited a very high cognitive scores compared to the Q1 group. And Q2, Q3, as I said, has also exhibited a significantly higher scores. And what is the effect? Secondly, this paper has also seen that how the different moderators or the co-varieties they are being affected, or they are being affected by the vitamin B1 intake. So the higher global Z score indicate that if the patients were without diabetes and coronary heart disease. So only I think DST score in the subgroup of hypertension. Hypertension was showed a result that yes, B1, if the intake is high, so hypertension was reduced. No significant interaction was found between dietary vitamin intake, B1 intake, and other characteristics or any other disease are being affected. So this is the graph which is shown that I said before that 1.12 to 1.2 range is good. So around 2 till 2, that yes, they have showed a very good performance. So it shows a very much high peak. So this is the range, but as they have increased the amount, there is no significant relationship. That this is mostly a toxicity level, but mostly the data is very less in case of that B1 intake. And this image basically represents how the CART, the different cognitive performance tests, DST, AFT, Z score, these are being affected by the vitamin B1 intake, and they are being adjusted on the basis of different co-varieties, which are age, the gender, race, poverty, income, everything, education. These are being affected and they are being adjusted on the basis of that. So this is basically a stratified analysis of how the different, as I said, crude and adjusted data, which showed that how much B1 intake is being interacting with the different co-varieties. So this is showing that yes, female has a high interaction, but this is not a significantly high relationship. Similarly, coronary heart disease, on the basis of yes, it is also like showing yes, there is some relationship, but this is not a like direct relationship. And finally, the conclusion that B1 intake was associated with a better cognitive scores in this study using the different linear regression models, which remained significant after adjusting for all the possible co-factors, which are age, gender, uh, a, ethnicity, everything. On the basis of that, vitamin B1 intake showed a very positive result on the basis of cognitive scores. Finally, we can conclude that yes, B1 is an essential nutrient which has to be substituted in the diet of the older adults as they have progressed the age of having dementia. They showed that when they are in the starting stage of showing these factors. So because B1 has a positive relationship in the oxidation, glucose metabolism, so they have been associated with many neurodegenerative diseases. The limitation of this study is basically the mechanism of association between the mechanism. Yes, the mechanism was still unclear. So, how the B1 intake is directly, like what is the mechanism, the biochemistry behind it under the cognitive decline. There were certain co-varieties may possess new indicators. So, some co-varieties may not be considered in this paper, but they are being affected directly, or maybe they are affecting the vitamin B1 intake in some case. So these are not being considered in the this paper, but it in the future papers, in the future study research, they can be considered. Secondly, as the dietary data for vitamin B1 were collected from self-reported, yes, when dietary recall method is being done, 24-hour dietary, so it shows a significant chance of having biasness. So that can be an issue in this paper. So some other method of dietary recall can be utilized, and then the study can be done, research study. Additionally, randomized controlled studies are needed to confirm the finding of as stated by the paper. Finally, additional research is obviously required to determine whether the current findings can be extrapolated to the other population based on this study of US adults, because this study is basically done on US adults. So can it be equal in other studies, or there is some other effect? So these are needed to be found. So finally, this is the reference of my paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhuri, for the presentation. Audience, now the floor is open for the queries. If you have any doubts, you can type in the chat box. We don't have any questions. Thank you, Madhuri. Thank you very much for the presentation. It is a very nice presentation, and I thank everyone for attending this session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.